You compared Donald Trump to a third world dictator yesterday in an interview with the New York Times. How so?
Well, I don't know about a dictator. I said a third world strongman. He's running for president, so no matter what, he won't be a dictator unless our republic completely crumbles, which I don't anticipate it will. But yeah, here's what happens in many countries around the world. You have a leader that emerges and basically says, don't put your faith in yourselves, don't put your faith in society, put your faith in me. I'm a strong leader, and I'm going to make things better all by myself. This is very typical. You see it in the third world. You see it a lot in Latin America for decades. It's basically the argument he's making that he single-handedly is going to turn the country around. We've never been that kind of country. We have a president. The president is an American citizen who serves for a period of time, constrained by the constitutions and the powers vested in that office. The president works for the people, not the people for the president. And if you listen to the way he describes himself and what he's going to do, he's going to single-handedly do this and do that without regard for whether it's legal or not. Look, I think people are going to have to make up their mind. I can tell you this, no matter what happens in this election, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media, and voters at large that are going to be having to explain and justify how they fell into this trap of supporting Donald Trump, because this is not going to end well one way or the other.
That was Marco Rubio in 2016.
If he builds the wall the way he built Trump Towers, he'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it. The second...
So cute. Such a cute soundbite. But here's the guy that buys a house for $179,000. He sells it to a lobbyist who's probably here for $380,000, and then legislation is passed. You tell me about this guy. This is what we're going to have.
Here's
this
the guy
president?
that inherited $200 million. If he hadn't inherited $200 million, you know where Donald Trump would be right now? Selling watches in Manhattan.
I have to say, he lied this time. He lied. 100%. 100%.
You lied about the Polish workers.
Yeah.
You lied to the students of Trump University.
Let Senator Cruz jump in,
he lied 38 years ago. All right, I guess there's a statute of limitation on lies.
It's hard to even believe they opposed this man at one point.
The Palestinians are not a real estate deal, Donald.
Okay, no. A deal.
They're not a real estate deal.
A deal is a deal. Let me tell you,
a deal is not a deal when you're dealing with terrorists. Have you ever negotiated with terrorists?
You are not a negotiator.
Fast forward to present day. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
In the 249-year history of our republic, there's only been 71 other Americans who have served in the role and the position that President Trump has now nominated me to occupy. And I want to thank him for his confidence, and it's an incredible honor. It is also, as many of you have already pointed out, an extraordinary responsibility.
He was nominated by the same man who he went after to serve as his Secretary of State. How about that?
On this vote, the yeas are 99, the nays are 0. The nomination of the great Senator Marco Rubio from the state of Florida is confirmed.
In a historic vote, Rubio's confirmation was a given. The latest reports?
The Times cites 5 people with knowledge of the confrontation, reports this about an argument between Elon Musk and Marco Rubio. Quote, "You fired nobody," Musk told Rubio, then scornfully added that perhaps the only person he had fired was a staff member from his Department of Government Efficiency. Rubio had been privately furious with Musk for weeks, ever since his Doge team effectively shuttered an entire agency that was supposedly under Rubio's control, the United States Agency for International Development. Musk was not being truthful, Rubio said. What about the more than 1,500 State Department officials who took early retirement in buyouts? Didn't they count as layoffs, he asked sarcastically, whether Musk wanted him to rehire all those people just so he could make a show of firing them again. Then he laid out his detailed plans for reorganizing the State Department. Musk was unimpressed. He told Rubio he was, quote, good on TV, with the clear subtext being he wasn't good for much else. Where was Donald Trump in all this? The Times reports that he sat back as if he was watching a tennis match. Ultimately, he, quote, intervened to defend, wait for it, Rubio. Said he was doing a great job.
An apparent rift between Elon Musk and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Musk being labeled the shadow president by many. in sports.
Please welcome the new head football coach at the University of North Carolina, Coach Bill Belichick.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bubba, I believe you have a presentation for Coach. Chancellor also.
All right. You got a jersey.
Bill Belichick was hired by the University of North Carolina to head their football program. It was a shocking move that took place. But now we are learning how all of this may have gone down. And it is another tough pill to swallow for those who clamor for politics and sports to remain separate. These reports state there was involvement from two prominent senators, one being Marco Rubio, and the other being North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis from ESPN's David Hale, Andrea Adelson, and Chris Lowe. Within the halls of power at UNC Chapel Hill, there's still plenty of frustration about how the process unfolded. The biggest hire of the 2024 coaching carousel, and arguably the biggest moment in Tar Heels football history, was the product of a chaotic search filled with political persuasion that involved now Secretary of State Rubio, internal backstabbing, airing of years-long grievances, and a bitter boardroom drama that might have been more appropriate for an episode of Succession than the hiring of a college football coach. Basically, and I need you all to go read the piece. We'll link to it in the description box below. Basically, the story goes, Belichick was interested in coaching again. He put together like a 400-page manifesto that he was pitching to each and every suitor that maybe even showed some interest in his services. A rift was growing, though, between the now former head coach, the winningest head coach in Tar Heels football history, former Longhorn coach, Mack Brown. Mack Brown was fantastic when he was with the Texas Longhorns. And he wasn't bad when he was with North Carolina. The problem was there was a disagreement. And basically, he felt as though this program was underfunded and they needed to put more in. Essentially, one thing led to another. Brown, the oldest head coach in college football, at least was, he would be let go. The job became available. And via ESPN, Belichick first sent word of his interest in the UNC job through political allies. That's a big one. He reached out to longtime friend, then Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who then contacted Tillis of North Carolina, hoping to light a fire in Chapel Hill in support of Belichick. There's so much here. The piece continues. Rubio follows the sports world pretty closely, and he called me and said, there's a chance Belichick would come to Chapel Hill, Tillis would say to the worldwide leader. He said he wants a school with a great academic reputation, and he wants to try to build a program to bring them a national championship. I said, well, let me go make some calls. Now, what's going to happen when a state school hears from someone very powerful who has played his cards right and sold out part of the electorate to remain in Trump's good graces? He has a lot of power. Who's going to say no to Thom Tillis? Tillis hung up the phone immediately and called Phil Berger, who had strong connections with many other powerful people at the school. Berger would initially laugh at the suggestion that Tillis shared with him, but he also said, yeah, Bill really wants the job. That became the spark that lit the fuse, and before long, the Belichick chase, was a raging inferno among key stakeholders, including Pryor. As one source put it, the push to land Belichick all started with the politicians. So, what we have learned here is that this demand to keep politics and sports separate will never be, it never has been separate. And how those, even in the football world, will use their connections to senators in order to land a job goes to show, in my view, and I am confident in saying this, this is not a one-off. There are more stories like this. We just don't know it. And if you are aware of one, you should email me. and we'll take a look at it. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.